Hey guys, how's it going? It's Robby here. Just going to show you really quick a pretty cool thing. I'm sure most of you have heard of it, but maybe not. But I'm going to show you split toning. Split toning can be done in RAW, and it can also be done in Lightroom, and I'm sure it can be done in Photoshop. I just have never adventured in that way. So here's an image of Leo from the other day. I already did just very minor adjustments to it, 0.2 and +8 for the contrast. So that's not really that big of a deal. So in RAW, there are tons of different adjustments here that you can mess with, and split toning is right in the middle, basically. Split toning is highlights and shadows. I don't need to read for you, but basically, whatever you choose in here affects what's going to be in the highlights, and whatever you choose here is going to be what's in the shadows. So let's pump up the saturation just so you can get an idea. So what is light and what is dark? Light is usually a yellow, or a light green, but you don't want to use green in photos. And shadows is usually dark. So I'm going to to start with, pull my yellow into the highlights area into the yellow, and the shadows into the dark areas in the blue. So already you can see that's a huge difference from the original image. And the cool thing about split toning is, no two photos are ever going to look the same with split toning, and this kind of almost can separate you from a different photographer, because their split tone, if they do use it, might not look like yours. So obviously this is very yellow, and yellow is gross. So I'm going to pull that down a little bit and mess with the shadows a little bit. I feel like that's a little bit more important in this image because this image is predominantly a very bright image, so I want a contrast that's going to look good. So I'm going to focus more on the shadows because already the highlights are everywhere in this image. It's just a very bright image. So it's a pretty good, you can see here's before and here's after. It kind of corrects it almost to the point where it's not very yellow and orange on her skin. It's kind of it's evened it out a little bit, and I think that it definitely made a huge difference. And then, if you sway to this way a little bit more, or this way, it affects the balance between the two. So, just try and find what you personally like. Like I've said in my other video, or any video that I'm sure most photographers or editors or whatever will do, is they'll say Photoshop is really all about finding what you like. There's 10 different techniques to get the same result, but whatever you feel is the quickest, the best, and whatever, do it. So just do what you do and mess around with split toning. If you have any questions, let me know.